Welcome to the University of Victoria's Convocation ceremony. The ceremony will begin in just a few minutes. Today, the newest members of our academic community are joining this institution's Convocation of Scholars, a centuries-old ritual originating with the great universities of Europe, carried on here at the University of Victoria. We ask that you please stand, if you are able to do so, when the academic procession enters the auditorium. The Chancellor will indicate when you may be seated after participants have reached their places. At the end of the ceremony, the Chancellor will ask that you stand again as the procession leaves the auditorium. Graduation is one of life's major events. We hope that you will all enjoy the ceremony. Children are welcome here. We know that sometimes they get fussy. Should anyone wish to leave the auditorium for any reason, an usher will be pleased to assist you. You are, of course, welcome to return. Thank you for your attention, and welcome to Convocation.
Absolutely, why not? Thank you to your young one for leading us in the applause. Ais Rachel, Siam Shtelacha. Good day, honored friends. Hiluksun Kwans Aniatla. I'm so glad you are here. Sheila Rogers Tanatsne, and I have the honor of being the Chancellor of the University of Victoria. I welcome you to our Fall Convocation 2021, and I declare 2021 Fall Convocation duly assembled for the granting of degrees. Please be seated. First of all, I would like to thank Christine Sam and her brother Eugene Sam of the Songhees Nation for their drumming and their singing and clearing the way for our graduates. A sacred practice, and we're so grateful for their participation in this ceremony. And it's now such an honor for me to invite my friend Dr. Skip Dick, an elder from the Songhees Nation, to welcome you here today.
Good afternoon. Oh, thank goodness you're there. Thought I was in the wrong room. CMC, my dear friends and relatives, my grads, the staff, administration. First of all, I want to thank our university for allowing us to do this ceremony. It's so precious to us that anytime our young ones are leaving, there's a ceremony for when they come home. And now we have plenty leaving, plenty coming back. It's so wonderful. It's happening in our day, in our time. And I really thank the universities and the scholars that put all that work into that. We want to make sure that the way for the young people in their new journey is clear. And we have those ceremonies. There's some ceremonies, or some of the songs I was alluding to say, is that they're fun songs, they're joyous songs, and there's healing songs. And part of that for our young people to learn those songs is something that really sends that caring message to the young ones when they're out on their own, that when they're out here, they don't become something else. They just keep their values, but they gain more knowledge. And I'm really appreciative of the system that's doing that now. And it's happening in our time. I'm repeating myself, but it's so wonderful to finally see something really happening. And there's an effort to make sure that the people on the front line can appreciate that. But beyond that, I'd like to get back on course. I almost went to the next page. Our welcoming ceremonies been going on for some time now. In our longhouses that we had down in the harbor, would welcome canoes from all over the globe. We'd make sure the security of the families were there, then make sure that we look after the canoe pullers, feed them, rest them, replenish their stuff on their journey. So in an odd way, we really want to make sure that our young people here their journey is really clear. And I want to say thank you for listening to me, because there's no way intend to tell you what to do. But we're just sharing with you one of our ways for making sure our young people are comforted in a place away from home. So with that, I really want to extend my thanks to you and welcome you to our Lekwungen territory. Haichka, and have a good afternoon.
Haichka CM, Skip, Dr. Skip Dick. And it was 5 years ago this November that Skip honored the university by accepting an honorary Doctor of Laws from the University of Victoria. It was a very proud day for the university. We love you. Thank you, Haichka Skip. Mr. President, members of the governing bodies, members of faculty, staff, librarians, distinguished guests, family members, and friends from across the country and around the world, either in person or online, and graduating students. On behalf of the University of Victoria, I welcome you all this afternoon. Today we honor students from the faculties of Graduate Studies and Human and Social Development. Gathering together in person looks a little different, and we thank you for wearing your masks for the duration of the event. Just pretend you're in season 17 of Grey's Anatomy, which was the COVID season. And thank you for being spaced out. And as I've said to Dr. Hall, being spaced out meant many different things when we were graduating in the 1970s, but the university community is made up of individuals of many faiths and beliefs. Our multi-faith services represent and serve many faith groups. At each convocation ceremony, an invocation is delivered, and today I call upon spiritual care provider David Batteram to pronounce the invocation.
Thank you, Sheila. Welcome, everybody. Acknowledging the many faiths and beliefs within our society and our shared values of honoring diversity, I invite you to pray or meditate, to think about the graduates we honor today in your own way, as I offer this invocation from my Baha'i tradition. Good afternoon, I'm David Batteram, the Baha'i spiritual care provider, and I'm honored to congratulate the students on their purposefulness and devotion to their studies. This invocation is a prayer revealed by Abdul Baha, the son of Baha'u'llah, the founder of the Baha'i faith. O God, O thou who hast cast thy splendor over the luminous realities of men, shedding upon them the resplendent lights of knowledge and guidance, and hast chosen them out of all created things for this supernal grace, and has caused them to encompass all things, to understand their inmost essence, and to disclose their mysteries, bringing them forth out of darkness into the visible world. He verily showeth his special mercy to whomsoever he will. O Lord, Help thou thy loved ones to acquire knowledge and the sciences and arts, and to unravel the secrets that are treasured up in the inmost reality of all created things. Make them to hear the hidden truths that are written and embedded in the heart of all that is. Make them to be ensigns of guidance amongst all creatures, and piercing rays of the mind, shedding forth their light in this the first life. Make them to be leaders unto thee, guides unto thy path, runners, urging men on to thy kingdom. Thou art verily the powerful, the protector, the potent, the defender, the mighty, the most generous.
Thank you, Mr. Batter. This is my last convocation as Chancellor of the University of Victoria. And when I began 7 years ago, I asked graduating students for a little advice on how to address convocation. And they said, don't speak for too long. Who just laughed there? Leave us with a thought or two, and don't bum us out. And this is absolutely a day to not be bummed out. This is a day of wonderful celebration. And I will be turning at a number of points in my address to speak directly to the graduates, so, pardon my back. Graduates, we come together today to honor you. The commitment, the curiosity, the courage, the coffee, the bad pizza, the Red Bulls, whatever it took to get you to this day. We honor that too. If someone had told me 18 months ago that we would still be in a global pandemic, I wouldn't have believed them. Sudhir Nair, UVic professor of international business, has said, this is not a bump in the road, it is the road, and we have to learn to walk on it. Clearly, graduates, you have. You kept the faith. You went the distance in spite of the pandemic and all that it changed for you, and possibly in you. And that makes me respect you even more than I already do, which is hugely. Maybe you had to wing it sometimes, but you kept flying high, like our UVic Byrd, the martlet. Today in your regalia, you may be sitting, but you're standing on the shoulders of many who only wanted the best for you, your family, friends, your supporters, and your loved ones. The university faculty, librarians, and staff also knew and believed in you and knew that you would get to this day. So this is a very moving day for everybody. The Cree elder Marjorie Bocage says, our ancestors are live streaming us all the time. And so may I also acknowledge the presence of our ancestors, yours, ours, everybody's, who dreamed of better lives for you and the generations yet to come, like the ones we hear in the audience today. Class of 2044. Graduating students, will you join me in a round of applause for everybody who supported you to get to this moment? The University of Victoria Convocation ceremony is special. The saxophone quartet, as you're ushered in, Indigenous honor songs sung by Christine and Eugene Sam, our beloved and esteemed old one, Dr. Skip Dick, welcoming you to the territory, And as the graduates cross the stage, you'll hear the music of a guitar virtuoso. Over my 7 years as chancellor, many attendees have expressed how moved they were by this ceremony. And I want to thank the wonderful people, Jeannie and her crew, who put Convocation together, and the audiovisual and video crew at the Farquhar, everyone at the Farquhar Auditorium, for being consistently excellent. Presiding over dozens of Convocation ceremonies, I've urged graduates to go out into the world and show compassion and care, to use your voice, to scream if you have to make a difference, to teleport yourself out of your comfort zone, deploy the superpower of curiosity, and find your great project, the thing that will get you out of bed when all you want to do is crawl back under the covers. But today, I want to talk about story. Lisa Byrd Wilson is a Métis and Nihiyaw writer who says, "We employ narrative to write ourselves into being. Our need to conceive and dream and breathe into being our own meaning is fundamental and consequential." And before you move ahead with conceiving and dreaming your narrative, put your thumb on today's page and just jump ahead to the epilogue. What will the intervening story of you be like? Looking back on my story, there are certainly passages that, well, make me blush, but also passages I wish I could rewrite or delete or just rip right out of the book. Often, they involved risks that I didn't take, and I just didn't think I was up for the challenge, which may well have been true, but I still wish I'd gone for it. British Columbia's first privacy commissioner, David Flaherty, received an honorary doctorate here at UVic, Doctor of Laws. And when he addressed Convocation, he talked about accepting a number of offers for work that he was not qualified to do. He said, "In none of those cases was I overly blessed with preparatory knowledge. However," he said yes, and they were rich times of learning, and he found he grew into those roles. In 2011, I was invited to be an honorary witness to the work of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, to the statements of the lived experiences of residential school survivors. Absolutely, I was not overly blessed with preparatory knowledge, but I said yes. And this was actually where my narrative became something I wanted to read. I made a lot of mistakes, most of all talking when I should have been listening. In fact, one survivor told me to shut up and listen. The shortest and most profound lesson I have ever had. It was humbling. Being a witness took all I got. It meant listening from the heart, sharing the story, standing for truth, and challenging lies, even and especially if those lies are the foundational stories of the country you call home. It changed my focus, my friendships, my life. I wish for you a great passion, a great grand project that animates your life, that gives you purpose, that makes you do the things that you cannot do, but in fact you can, because there's nobody like you, and no one else can write your story. I realize your thumb is still, at least mentally, stuck in the book of you. You're about to turn the page and become graduates. We're all so honored to witness this moment. What a world, though, that my generation is handing to you. I wish we had left it in better shape for you. The revered Stalo matriarch, writer, and activist, Lee Maracle, CM, may she rest in peace. Lee Maracle said, "We will need to nourish our imaginations and summon our hearts and souls and minds to a new justice that includes all life." In short, as my dear brother, the Indigenous scholar Daniel Heath Justice says, we must imagine otherwise. That's his motto. And if you don't take anything else from what I'm saying, I hope you will just imagine otherwise. I know you can, and I know you will. I will close with some cherished words from the Ojibwe writer and another brother of mine, Richard Wagamese. He said, "All that we are is story, from the moment we are born to the time we continue on our spirit journey. We are involved in the creation of the story of our time here. It is what we arrive with. It is all we leave behind. We are not the things we accumulate. We are not the things we deem important. We are story, all of us. And what comes to matter then is the creation of the best possible story we can while we're here. You, me, us, together. When we can do that, and we take the time to share those stories with each other, we get bigger inside. We see each other. We recognize our kinship. We change the world, one story at a time." As Chancellor of the University of Victoria and the host of a radio program called The Next Chapter on CBC Radio 1, which is playing right now, as a matter of fact, I want to wish you the best for your next chapter. That's what we're here to celebrate. And we wish you marvel and wonder and success and joy. Thank you for choosing the University of Victoria, and all the best in the next chapter of your life. Thank you. It is now my honor to call upon the President of the University of Victoria, Dr. Kevin Hall.
Well, thank you, Madam Chancellor, the brilliant and inspiring Sheila Rogers, and on behalf of the 29,000 of us that make up this city that is UVic, our students, staff, and faculty, we want to just really thank you, and it's indeed been an honor and a privilege to have Canada's leading journalist, broadcaster, and thought leader here as our Vice Chancellor. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to stand and give a round of applause to our Chancellor. And we will celebrate a little later on as well. But that's just a starter. So welcome to the platform party, my colleagues and friends, and most of all, graduates here with your friends and your family, your supporters. It's absolutely fantastic you can be here in the audience to help celebrate our graduating students on their amazing accomplishments. This is our first in-person convocation in over 2 years, and in fact, it's my first series of convocations. I've been at UVic about a year, and 3 months ago I was very fortunate to have requested permission to live and work on the land, and was humbled in a ceremony at First Peoples House when that permission was granted by the local Assangees Nation. And I thought I would just tell you a little bit about what I'm wearing today, which is a regalia hood that was gifted to me and created by Master Coast Salish artist and hereditary chief William Good, Sikanakan, and designer Sandra Good, Tultilada. And in Coast Salish teachings, the supernatural eagle is the messenger, carrying knowledge and prayers between the spirit world and the earth, and imparts vision and wisdom to guide one's journey. The salmon was chosen because it represents the continuous life cycle on earth. It was about 1 week, and I was reminded by Sheila today, 1 week and 13 days ago, it was my first day on campus. And my first impressions walking into the new office, it was first of all just amazed by the beauty of the campus, the warm welcome that I received from everybody on campus, but most of all, it was that sense of pride and commitment that our students had, and this was a really good way to start a job off. So graduates, you're about to start your new job, your new beginning. The last few semesters have probably been some of the toughest times that you've had over your 4 or 5 years of study. The work you put in to get here in the shadows of this global pandemic really sets you apart, and I've been amazed by your sheer grit and determination. And I hope each of you take a moment to just reflect on what you've accomplished over your time at UVic, and particularly in the last year, and really be proud of that, and nobody can take that away from you ever. As I reflect on what you've accomplished, I'm also truly buoyed. My spirit is buoyed, and it leaves me feeling really optimistic for this future, because amongst you are the future leaders, the leaders we so desperately need to drive that social change. Social change is going to make the climate better. It's going to address truth, respect, and reconciliation, and it's going to really change the face of how we include people and how we stop racism in our country. So right now, as we're conducting this very ceremony, leaders are gathered in Glasgow for what's called COP26, the United Nations Climate Change Conference. And the sense of alarm about our climate emergency that the world's facing has never been higher. This past summer, we all experienced an unprecedented heat dome here in British Columbia and widespread destructive forest fires that tore through and consumed entire tracts of this province. And similar stories of extreme climate events are now recounted in every part of the globe. Climate change is simply the greatest collective challenge we face as a human family. And these are the words of the former UN Secretary, General Ban Ki-moon. And he said this because climate change itself doesn't really respect borders. It doesn't respect who you are, rich or poor, big or small. It doesn't matter if you come from an emerging economy or a powerful economy. This is truly a global pandemic that will require global solidarity. So we're going to need your leadership and your talent, graduates, and for you to bring that same grit and determination to mobilize and drive innovation, to reduce our carbon dependence, and grow a more sustainable and resilient economy. You've shown yourselves to be up to this challenge as you're ready to set off on the new path, and this new path of your life. And as the first in my family to attend university, I've experienced firsthand what a game changer education can be, and what a slingshot it can be to your future careers. And take, for example, a UVic Distinguished Alumni Award winner, Griffin R. Russell, a UVic double grad in child care and youth care and public health. Griffin is the Regional Harm Reduction Coordinator for Island Health. He has 20 years of professional experience in healthcare, focused on mental health and substance use services, and theoretical roots in attachment theory, harm reduction, health-centered care, resilience, and trauma-informed practice. Griffin has been awarded the Healthcare Hero Golden Apple Award as nominated by his peers for advancing localized responses to the opioid overdose crisis on Vancouver Island. So graduates, your UVic experience has set you on a great trajectory. We can't wait to see what you're going to do, and I'm absolutely confident that you'll be innovators and attain the highest levels of achievement in your chosen field, just like Griffin. So chase your dreams with passion, determination, and most of all, humanity. Think outside the box and occasionally color outside of the lines. As UVic alumni, you're going to continue to be an important part of our close-knit community, and I hope you'll stay connected as you carve out your future. So to the class of 2021, on behalf of the entire University of Victoria, I offer each and every one of you our heartfelt congratulations on your success. Thank you. Madam Chancellor, the deans of the faculties have assured me that the candidates to be presented to you today and those who are absent have fulfilled the requirements for their degrees, and Senate requests that you confer upon each the degree for which they are now recommended. So graduates, will you please stand?
By the authority of the Senate of this university, I admit you to the degree to which you and those in absentia are entitled, and urge you to strive always with patience and sincerity for the instruction and sound learning of all people. Graduates, will each of you accept the degree to which you are entitled with its inherent rights and privileges and the responsibility and loyalty which it implies? You know, this is my 6th convocation this round, and you are the most in unison. That must mean something. Thank you for saying yes, and please be seated, but may I present to you again the class of 2021.
Well, now comes the exciting part. It's going to be time to celebrate. The graduating class will be presented individually to the Chancellor, and it'll be a moment while we get the students assembled to come out onto the stage. So we'll be right back, hopefully in about 60 seconds. So.
Madam Chancellor, the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. The candidates are accompanied by their faculty supervisor or representative. Shahim Kasum is accompanied by Dr. Lenora Marcellus, School of Nursing. Terry Lee Seeley is accompanied by Dr. Susan Strega, School of Social Work. Madam Chancellor, the candidates for the degree of Master of Nursing. Barrientos Amin Ampon Ruby Reda. Whitney Cross. Nessa Hamidi Tusi. Tessa Hamilton. Stacy Lee Harangi. Wendy Hildebrand. Jessica Hollander. Heather Jenkins. Anita Kayla Kak. Jennifer Kayuni. Alex Marshall. Vanessa Ray McMahon. Carrie Ann Pomeroy. James Colin Reeves. Madeline Reed. Mackenzie Ryan. Shannon Simcoe. Megan Somerville. Sarah Sorensen. Christopher John Talusan. Shelley Tysick. Madam Chancellor, the candidate for the degree of Master of Public Administration. Kira Beth Craig. Madam Chancellor, the candidates for the degree of Master of Public Health. Mariam Ahmad. Megan Henderson. Riley Ann Parkinson. Leanne Lynn Phillip. Sydney Huyn Tam. Madam Chancellor, the candidates for the degree of Master of Science. Cherry Cheng. Neil Dehaan. Christopher John Talusan. Madam Chancellor, the candidates for the degree of Master of Social Work. Katie Booth. Julie Page McGinnis. Danny Megan Randall. Dylan Thomas Rystad. Jill C. Strayer Church.
Madam Chancellor, the candidates for the bachelor degree in child and youth care. Inga Chow. Sharu Cooper. Catherine Devander Surin. Jillian Denise Dyer. Megan Ann Frericks. Kelsey Katsian. Alicia McLeod. Elizabeth Maeda. Gyun Moon. Jana Maria Phillip. Kaylee Mae Sutherland. Taya Catherine Thompson. Tana Christine Woodward. Monet Page Yabut. Madam Chancellor, the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science. Kajolpreet Bains. Andrew Chen. Chelsea Lynn Chen. Mark Dosso. Omar El Halabi. Dennis Hang. Ru Huang. Daniel James Thomas Kinahan. Oksana Klepsch. Jimmy Luau. Helen Mack. Faria Mohammed. Sabrina Shum. Simran Shian. Nicholas Yushan To. Maya Waldstein. Neil Ye. Enze Zhao. Yushin Zhao. Madam Chancellor, the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Social Work. Sorry, it's nursing. Daniel Kimberly Lane. Daua Tenebro. Madam Chancellor, the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Social Work. Gabrielle Aklasi. Jamie Bermel. Sydney Brills. Aaron Burke. Emily Donaldson Coulter. Shania Islander. Sierra Dawn Foster. Scott Arthur Garnett. Heather Ann Good. Jocelyn Huggett. Rebecca Ivius. Alida Marie Patrice Kelly. Stacia Krejci. Danielle Kreitzer. Taylor Kendra List. Charlene Love. Juliet Ogochukwuko Ogbonna. Rose Winona Patterson Ayim Bilist. Kane Roberts. Brian Sakabibara. Kimberly Elizabeth Schmeiser. Sasha Stewart. Chelsea Tuis. Jacqueline Mary Unsworth. Sophie Rayanne White. Sabrina Irene Williams. Colby Alexander Young. Mr. President, the diplomas from the Faculty of Human and Social Development will now be awarded. The recipients of the Professional Specialization Certificate in Public Policy and Governance, Angela Darlene Adamson. Shannon Tagseth.
And now to offer congratulations from the Alumni Association, I call upon Jerry Bliss. Jerry?
Thank you, Madam Chancellor. I just want to say how grateful I am to be here in the flesh with all of you today, and what an honor it is to share this moment with you, and to ask you to excuse my back for a moment. On behalf of the Alumni Association, I am proud to welcome you all as the newest graduates of our esteemed university. I know you've all made it through challenging times and periods of great personal growth to be able to enter these auditorium doors today in cap and gown. As you now begin a new relationship with UVic, as a lifelong member of our outstanding community of alumni, you join a network of more than 140,000 alumni around the world. Please keep in touch with us. We are here for you to celebrate your successes in our newsletter and our magazine, to keep you connected to your colleagues in your campus, and to help you build your careers, to enhance your busy lives with fun, enriching events, and opportunities. We hope you leave today with your spirits high and full of pride, knowing that you have all accomplished something extraordinary. And you are now part of an exceptional community of caring, creative, and innovative people determined to make a better world. Congratulations on your graduation, and welcome to the University of Victoria Alumni Association. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
Well, this is all now a surprise for Sheila. But esteemed guests, graduates, and colleagues, this December, Sheila Rogers completes her term as the Chancellor of the University of Victoria. Sheila has been UVic's much respected Chancellor since 2015, a cherished and invaluable member of the UVic community. This convocation ceremony is the final convocation ceremony of 2021 and the last time that Sheila Rogers will preside as Chancellor over conferring the degrees. We've decided to take a few moments out of today's ceremony and offer a tribute, a token of our appreciation for her many years of devotion and service to the University of Victoria. Madam Chancellor, accompany me.
I need your arm, believe me.
And you can just stand right here.
Okay.
Dr. Nancy Turner, an orator at the University of Victoria, will now deliver a tribute to Sheila Rogers.
Mr. President, honored guests, members of the governing body, members of the faculty and staff, graduating students who have kept me smiling for a long time, just thinking about all you've accomplished, and families and friends, of course. You've kept me smiling too with your good wishes for the graduates. And of course, Madame Chancellor. It is my great pleasure to present this citation in honor of Sheila Rogers on the occasion of her last convocation as esteemed Chancellor of our university here in the traditional territory of the Lekwungen peoples. She's coming to the end of her second term. Since her original inauguration in June 2015, Chancellor Rogers has served our university with elegance and warmth. She's gracefully represented us at countless events and occasions, always with a smile and a kind word, bringing UVic a place of respect and admiration right across the country. As a broadcast journalist for CBC Radio with, and here I am quoting our own Lorna Crozier, Professor Emerita, Department of Writing, quote, a voice that sparks with intelligence and integrity. Chancellor Rogers was already well known and well loved by many of us for years previous to 2015. It was indeed our great fortune that she accepted the Chancellor position, bestowing on our university a wonderful gift. She joined CBC Radio in Ottawa back in 1980. To read her history with the CBC is like listing all of my favorite radio programs since that time. This morning, Morningside with Peter Zosky, Basic Black, Take 5, Sounds Like Canada, and finally, of course, the award-winning The Next Chapter, which she continues to produce and host. She helped to give Canada its personality and has been recognized over and over for her contributions to our country, in many cases as a volunteer, to Indigenous peoples, and she is a member of the Métis Nation of Greater Victoria, to adult literacy programs, and to our healthcare system, particularly in the area of mental health. In 2011, she was named an Officer of the Order of Canada. At that time, she also served as an honorary witness to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada, which she mentioned earlier. Through sharing what she witnessed, she is helping Canadians everywhere to understand the terrible impacts of residential schools and the so-called Indian Day schools for generations of Indigenous peoples, so that we will never forget and can never deny the terrible truth. Drawing from this work, she co-edited the 3 books in the Speaking My Truth series, published by the Aboriginal Healing Foundation, on truth, justice, and reconciliation. In her words and actions, she has continued to champion reconciliation between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples across the country, most recently helping draw attention to the heartbreaking findings of the graves of children who died at residential schools and never returned home. Besides the Order of Canada, Sheila's work has brought her many other accolades. For example, in October 2016, she was the inaugural recipient of the Margaret Trudeau Award for Mental Health Advocacy. In 2019 alone, she received honorary degrees from Queen's University and University of Manitoba, with 6 other honorary degrees previous to these ones. During her time as Chancellor, she has presided over 66 in-person convocation ceremonies, and when the pandemic hit in 2020, she participated in virtual celebrations for graduates through this last spring, 2021. In this fall session, has presided over her final 6 convocations. Of course, she has accomplished many other duties and activities as Chancellor, as well as participating in our Indigenous recognition ceremonies and honorary degree recipient ceremonies. She has chaired the Senate Committee on Honorary Degrees, provided a thoughtful and compassionate voice as a member of the Board of Governors, and has hosted or served as interviewer for Idea Fest, for alumni and conversation sessions, Moving Trans History Forward with Kent Monkman, and the Lafayette Health Awareness Forum. She served as a distinguished panelist for Cuba 2018, Governing in the Time of Truth and Reconciliation with Indigenous Peoples, and for Orange Shirt Day events, which I see you are marking, which is wonderful, as well as being a member of the Indigenous Post-Secondary Board Members Group. In all of these, she has contributed, as only Sheila can, with her wonderful, kind, and thoughtful presence. I can't resist quoting from a couple of others about Sheila and how much she is loved. Her kindness and her laughter are famous. To use again the words of her dear friend Lorna Crozier when she first introduced Sheila to UVic back in 2015. When you hear Sheila laugh, you want to be her friend. You want to tell her a joke or a story that will make her hoot and chuckle and chortle again. Actually, there's no synonym that can describe the sound. If you turn up your radio, wherever you are in the house, the rooms will fill with cordiality, kind-heartedness, mischief, and affection. CBC radio host Amanda Putz wrote, "She's one of the most genuinely warm people I've ever met. Her smile makes folks smile before she even says a word. You can hear that smile in her voice." And filmmaker Ryan J. Noth wrote, "Sheila is the best, pure joy and a model for all Canadians and for people in general. She's so giving and sensitive, with the most welcoming laugh ever invented." Sheila is, in short, one of our country's treasures. For me, she's a total inspiration. I just love her, that's all I can say. Sheila, we hope that you and your wonderful husband, Charlie Chuffins, will always feel that you are a part of our university and will always feel at home when you are among your friends here. Thank you, Sheila.
So Sheila, it's been an absolute honor for me in my first year to work here with you as the Chancellor, and on behalf of everybody at the University of Victoria. The contributions you've made, whether it's a student, a staff, a faculty member, or the community, everybody has felt your kindness. And you know, we could have spent an hour reading off the list of things that Sheila has done in her citations, but we don't want to take that amount of time. But I think that what really sums it up is her sense of kindness and humanity that really resonates. So, Sheila, I'm really proud to announce today that the University of Victoria has initiated the Sheila Rogers Entrance Scholarship. This scholarship will be awarded to an academically outstanding Indigenous undergraduate student who is entering the University of Victoria directly from a Canadian secondary or transferring from a Canadian college or university. Sheila, congratulations. And I know we're absolutely going to miss your chancellation. But let's give you the last word and find out what's in your next chapter.
All right. Thank you. Oh, boy. I have to ask you a question. I'm not an elder, should I correct it? Okay, all right. Kevin said I would have the last word, but perhaps I'll have the last laugh instead. Nancy, Dr. Turner, thank you so much for your wonderful oration. I'm humbled, and I have to say I felt like I was at my own funeral. I'm also very aware that I'm in between you and you're reuniting with your families, but this is the last time I will be able to address Convocation as Chancellor. And I do want to say thank you also to Kevin for your kindness, and David for tolerating me on the Board of Governors. And to you, Rob, for being such a good friend and a wonderful mace bearer. The Alumni Association, thank you. Nicole, the registrar, thank you, thank you. The greatest joy of my life at the University of Victoria has been the moment our graduating students cross the stage to enter into the rest of their lives. I and President Hall and President Castles before him have been deeply honored to participate in the ultimate event of your UVic experience. Graduates, you inspire us hugely. And today is my final address. I'd like to talk about what students have given me. I've learned so much from so many of the students here, but time will only allow a few mentions. First of all, I want to talk a little bit about this ceremony, which was changed by an Indigenous bachelor named Yelmer Wenstob. And graduates used to cross the stage and kneel before the Chancellor, which was, let's just face it, icky, really, in the extreme. And Yelmer came up to me when I was seated in that beautiful chair and said, "With respect, Madam Chancellor, my family has asked that I neither kneel nor bow before you." And I didn't realize my mic was live, and I said, "I'm so down with that." So from then on, Convocation changed, and it was Yelmer who changed it, not just for Indigenous students, but indeed for Indigenous students who should not be kneeling before a Chancellor, but for all students. In fact, I really feel I should be kneeling before each one of you. I learned about moving from idea to reality and about honoring from Saeed Rezvani, civil engineering student who walked across the stage just yesterday with his master's. Saeed facilitated the Iranian Student Memorial Scholarship to honor those whose lives were lost in Ukraine International Flight 752, including first-year University of Victoria student Roja Amid-Baksh. It was a beautiful and lasting honoring, and Saeed has always been a great voice for international students and all students. Yvonne Hussein, then a student of gender and indigenous studies, taught me that between truth and reconciliation, there must be healing. She was barely 20 when she told me this. So truth, healing, and reconciliation. She also taught me that beadwork doesn't have to be perfect, which is an incredible teaching and a great relief in my case. My first beaded flower, supposed to be flat against the cloth, looked more like a very brightly colored volcano. Days after the Bamfield bus tragedy that took the lives of John Girdes and Emma Machado, may they rest in peace, I met with students who had been on the bus, and I'm honored to have become friends with two of them, AJ and Cody. They taught me that not everybody wants a hug when you think they might need one. They taught me to ask first and not to assume, a transferable lesson in almost any situation. They also suggested that my hair was boring and urged me to get a rainbow for them. And I can say my hair is now many things, but it is not boring. And AJ and Cody gave me the courage to be bold. From Lisbeth, Navjot, and Fleury, students in the JD/JID program at UVic Law, made me think more deeply about being a witness to story and about bearing witness. They taught me about honoring stories, important narratives, survivor narratives, as you would honor bones. Care for them, tend to them, respect them, believe them, honor them always. Last winter, partly brought about by the pandemic, I had anxiety, like day in, day out. It was really hard to work, and I was deeply distracted about everything. And a student member of the Board of Governors, Juliet, reached out to say I wasn't alone. And that gesture meant so much. She reminded me to make sure that people in our lives who are struggling know that they are not alone and know that you are there for them. Normally, I'm getting there, normally as an interviewer, I hate being interviewed. I mean, I really hate it. But that changed with Troy Sebastian, the first year I was chancellor. Troy is a Tahana writer and now graduate of UVic's Writing MFA program and 2021 Vanier Scholar. And in that 2015 interview, we talked about truth, respect, and reconciliation. And I said, there's so much to learn. And Troy said, more importantly, there's so much to unlearn. One of the great highlights of my time as chancellor came in May of 2016. We presented 12-year-old Emma Grace Smith with an honorary teaching certificate from UVic. We held a ceremony for her. The Dean of Education, Ralph St. Clair, was there, and so were associate and assistant deans in full regalia, and UVic staff, and Emma's family. From grade 2 on, Emma had known she wanted to become a teacher. Emma was living with an aggressive brain cancer, which claimed her life only 1 month later. We had been told Emma would not speak at the conferral of her certificate, but at the end of the ceremony, Emma did speak and said, "Education is so important. Education changes everything." Emma was right. Education is so important. It does change everything. And I know, graduates, that it has already changed you. And now I will address you once again, graduating students. You've taught me about perseverance and resilience, completing your degree during the pandemic. That wasn't in the cards when you registered for UVic. A few months into the pandemic, I was starting to get very frustrated with always being on my computer until you taught me what was possible when you accepted it and didn't fight the technology. Your continued pursuit of scholarship and really the academic success we celebrate today is what is possible. And you are proof, and no one can take that away from you. As I leave you, these words, again from the great matriarch and Stalo writer who just died 2 days ago, Lee Miracle. She said, "Have dreams big enough to contain the world." Create a sanctuary where dreams are born. It was Val Napoleon, our Dean of Law, who said, "Have dreams big enough to contain the change we need to see in the world." And it has been a dream to be the Chancellor of the University of Victoria. My thanks and gratitude to the university for 7 unforgettable years where I feel like I got to be a vampire. I got to feed on new ideas, fresh thinking from young people, and people with very young and agile minds, though they may not have been young chronologically. I got a graduate degree in curiosity, excitement in learning, and just unbelievable satisfaction. I've loved being your Chancellor, and I wish Chancellor-designate Marion Buller the very best when she picks up the wand in January. Thank you for this great, great honor, and I wish you again all the very best. You know, I'm just going to skip ahead and just get you to keep on standing as we say congratulations to the class of 2021, which is the real reason we're here. So. And if you wouldn't mind just staying standing, thank you for your participation. You have been wonderful and such a great part of this ceremony, whooping and hollering and clapping and just radiating great faith and love and belief in our graduates. It's been such an honor to be with you. Thank you for coming, and I wish you a safe trip home. And now the academic procession will retire. And I really will, as Chancellor.